Hey, what's up guys? Gordon Briley here, and this is my new video series called Home Gym Hacks. And this is all about teaching you guys, well, kind of my secret sauce to my business. When COVID hit, I started a business building racks, accessories, all these different things using products that are a little more common, things that you can actually find at home or at your local Home Depot. But they're easy to source, they're relatively inexpensive, and this is actually, like I said, this is my business, and I sell this stuff, but anyone that knows me knows that I love to teach, I love to train, I like to share things, and if you're successful because of me, then that makes me successful, and to me that's what's more important. I have more than enough business, so to me, now it's about sharing information. And what I want to go over today on the first video is actually how I utilized a very common product. I actually got in touch with Unistrut of Michigan, and we talked design and worked on figuring out some things that would work in a universal way that you could utilize. Actually, for a ton of different products that I have, utilizes Unistrut. And this company has been around forever. And there's a reason that they've been around forever, and it's because of that universal nature. So with you guys being able to get some of this stuff, this is why it's called Home Gym Hacks. I'm going to show you how I've set up things that I've built and designed that I sell, but you guys can do yourself. So the first thing I'm going to show is actually how we use some of this rail system within our actual rack. You can see here, when I talked about Unistrut, this is actually, you can see here, some of this rail system. And these are just kind of connection points within the rack, and you can see it here. Rails here that are used to connect the uprights to the wall, but this gives us a ton of mounting points. You can see over there, and you can see over here. But today we're going to show how you guys could potentially change up your racks, add to them, and make different items and different attachment points, creating some kick-ass resistance. Now that you guys have seen how we actually utilize the rail system, I just wanted to kind of quickly explain what I have and why I have it here. So you could, if you're going to do it yourself, you could have just the rail system without a platform or without the rubber, and that would be perfectly fine because the weights would be on the outside of it. So you just have to make sure that you're not dropping your weights onto the rail itself. That should be pretty easy to do with most basic lifts, deadlifts, stuff like that. If you're doing cleans, you obviously wouldn't want to drop it on this, and that's why I actually did it the way that I did it and designed, let's say, this platform here. So this thing's super rad itself because right now I could just pick it up with one hand. It's maybe 25 pounds, and it has an ultra high density foam center. So load compression rating is super, super high on this per square inch, and then it has a hard surface on top of it. Like, you can't really compress this, and it's super lightweight, like I said. And then for me, I actually designed it to where you can push the platform right into the rack so it's out of the way if you don't want it there, or you can push it right out the back of the rack in case you don't want it here. And with it being lightweight, it's super easy to do that. And then I actually get these tiles from Titan Fitness because they're really affordable. They are the same dimension, thickness wise, as the rail itself and the platform. So you have this nice flat surface. That way when you're lifting, cleaning, stuff like that, if you drop the weight, nothing's really going to get smashed. So one of the first things I'm going to show is the actual connection points, because the rail is pretty simple. But now it's about having fittings and mounting points to actually create the type of tension that I wanted to design, and then do so in ways that make it convenient. So this fitting is something that I created, and this is kind of a quick move. You can spin it any different way, and then it can be slid anywhere within this rail system very quickly. So although the rail you can get at a local hardware, or there's a lot of different places, you can look that up. But the fittings are things that I've actually designed and things that I sell. But you can come up with things very similar to this as well, or use products that they already have. Over here you'll see this is just an eye bolt with some rail nuts, and this offers another really quick way to adjust resistance based off of how I designed the system. So I'm just going to move this where I think that I'm going to, in this situation, squat and then lock it down with a quick knob. So now when I'm first getting warmed up, sometimes what I'll do is I'll just lock it in. So we had to think of a way to create resistance and change the resistance quickly. So that's what I came up with this, where it's really just a pass-through. It's rounded so it doesn't catch it or want to cut it, fray it, anything like that. And now I can actually change the resistance of this band that's connected to the bar, and I'll show you how that's connected just by changing this here. Now I've added a little more resistance to this band. If I want to go heavier, I just take this, I'm going to move it out and stretch it. Now I'm working with a band that's a little more taut, so it's going to be more difficult. The secondary thing, once I go all the way to the end and I have full resistance for this band, then what I do is I have another one right here close by. I can connect it up here, run it through as well, just do a single hook, it's less resistance, or also run it through and connect to the same connecting point, and then I just doubled up the tension. So this is a way, this rail does have to be bolted down to the cement. I think that's pretty obvious reasons, but I mean that's really 2 screws. I have mine bolted to the rack itself. All right, so now we're gonna go to the other end where we actually connect to the bar, and I'm gonna show you ways that I came up with really quick connections, and it doesn't pull on the band itself and risk fraying and breaking the band. So here's an O-ring steel. This one typically, when you go to put this through it, it doesn't fit. But if you're just gonna take it, hook it, and then pass through, now it's actually on the band itself. So this just makes it really easy to connect and change them out. So I take it, go around the bar itself, have that ring, just connect onto that ring, and it just pulls itself tight. So now we have a quick connect. It just makes things easy and it makes it really quick. So now I'm just going to go down and attach the other end to the ring that I showed you earlier, and now you have a really quick way to add resistance, and resistance that's actually available, since bands we can get. When I want to hook up another band, I just take this one and I hook it through the hook of the other band that I already just wrapped through. And now I can feed this down to that ring or feed it through the ring into the eye bolt that's at the end of the channel. Currently I have a 60-pound band on each side. It's connected down through and fully extended to the end of the rail. And I'm going to just demonstrate that real quick. So for me, that feels probably closer to 225 with 2 simple, affordable bands. So next thing I'm going to show you is a chest press. And what I love about this resistance is right now it's still connected the same way. I just quickly transferred the J hooks. And now with chest press, especially with this type of resistance, I love more of a ballistic style and fighting that resistance coming back up. So even with no weight, feels super good. Now, quickly, I can change this by taking it off here and then pulling it through. You want to make sure that it's centered, the resistance on both sides of it. Super quick, super easy. Pull it through, connect it. Now I've actually doubled my resistance. Probably not equal to a full doubling of resistance, but it is definitely more difficult. Yup. and having to stabilize it is a whole nother ballgame. So the last lift I want to show you, and my favorite of all, is a deadlift. And this one's pretty simple to explain. I just moved with the quick connect, the fitting with the ring all the way to the end, eye bolt all the way to the end, and then just place the band going this way, obviously against the bar. So, you want to just center it. And now you can add instant resistance in a different fashion, especially that end extension. Completely different resistance. It's pretty badass. So thanks for watching, and stay tuned. I'm going to show you guys some pretty kick-ass stuff.